Starting off, I want to say that this scene was supposed to be longer. It was supposed to have more content and interactions between Echo and Jinx, showing Echo bringing Jinx down from that emotional height. I don't think it was poorly done, but I think it should have been kept as longer. She has very legit reasons to kill herself, very real reasons to feel this way. To reach the level to commit suicide, you need to be way higher than you'd think on that sadness, that pain, that feeling of whatever that pushes you to end it all. So coming down from that height isn't easy and it takes a lot. Echo eventually convinced her to back away from the edge and not kill herself, but he failed a handful of times too. Not that Jinx really knew that, but still it shows a good realistic portrayal of how you feel in that moment and just how much weight it takes to bring you back. So at first he tried to basically say, no, stop, don't do it. That failed. Quickly gathering his thoughts, he soon turned to appeal to her sense of friendship with him, hoping that she would still see him as a friend and have a one-on-one with him. This failed a few times. And then finally what worked was giving her a new perspective, at least a piece of one, telling her that there is still something worth living for, that she can let go of how she feels and what she's done, that she can be a better person and build something new. For Jinx, this was big because in that moment she thought she was the worst of the worst. She never had a good opinion about herself. As you can see when she talks to Smeech, she says that everyone around her died and that it's her fault, whether she's the one who specifically did it or not, it's her fault in the end. And in the scene where she escapes her jail cell, she says there's no good version of me. This pretty much cements the idea in her head that she is a bad person and the people she's loved always get hurt. Tying even more into it, in the jail cell, she had a vision of Silco telling her to break the cycle of killing. You have to walk away. This can be taken a few ways, but mainly for Jinx, she took it in two ways. One, to stop endlessly and pointlessly killing people for chaos and baseless violence. But more importantly, secondly, she took it as a way to stop herself from jinxing all the people she loves and cares for so the people close to her stop dying. Sticking with this flow of talking about what went on in Jinx's head, Jinx needed a new identity. She couldn't be Jinx, and Jinx was pretty much dead after her final fight with Vi and Caitlyn when Isha saved her. She even said it herself. She couldn't quite be Powder again as well, as she knew too much, did too much, grew too much. She also did a lot to kill off Powder, such as Silco dumping her in the water and giving her a new perspective on that. So, to be able to live on, to be able to be okay, Jinx needed to be able to walk away from the chaos of Jinx and the innocent promises of Powder. Jinx had to create a new identity, a new way of living and seeing things. She was in a peculiar situation to do this. Peculiar, I say, because I think she was in a good, albeit not normal situation to do just this. Stepping back from the edge, choosing to live on, understanding she needed to change again, she was able to put this energy into proving her new existence in the war between Piltover and Zaun, with the conflict between her sister Vi, her lost friendship with Echo, and finish her story with Vander, her father, and finally, give homage and representation to the ones she lost and loved. It's quite emotional, dressing herself up in a new outfit, in new colors, new haircut, and upgraded guns, really showing off the new her. She did it wonderfully to finish off her stories. I do think it was actually quite nice, after thinking about it a little, of how they finished her story relating to Vander and Vi. Jinx saw herself at fault for killing Vander, a very deep wound on her. She saw an opportunity, though, to get him back, to save him, to be a family again, so she gathered Vi and pulled on a thread of Victor, healing people, and took a chance. Unfortunately, this didn't work out, and he became fully immersed into Warwick. That led to the final fight where Jinx was able to save the memory, reputation, symbol, however you want to put it. She saved that what remained of Vander by killing Warwick. Now, the reason this is important is because to her, she killed Vander. She let him down. She didn't do enough, no matter what she did. With this, she was finally able to let go of that guilt, that pain, that mistake. She was able to right her wrong and save the memory of Vander in her heart. which I believe is one of the reasons it played what it did in the final scene where Vander putting Jinx and Vi to sleep, how Jinx held Warwick's face, remembering all of this. It shows her finally not being a Jinx. The same can be said with her story relating to Vi. As we know, Powder looked up to Vi, always wanting to help, always wanting to prove she is ready, prove she can stand with her, help her. Throughout the show, she certainly had heavy conflicts with Vi, but there were still key moments where Powder shined through, and not just Powder, but a genuine love for Vi. Since this feeling remained no matter what, we can say Jinx always cared for Vi, always wanted to still be able to help and prove herself despite the conflicts. This all proved as she is able to finally right her wrongs in the final episode as well. She saves Vi in her aircraft, she saves Vi with Warwick, and sacrifices herself again as Vi was about to die. Jinx is finally able to be the hero Powder always wanted to be, finally letting go of the pain that she held within her with Powder. Now that I think about it, she got one last hurrah for Jinx as well, in her airship causing all that mayhem and chaos in a super fashionable and beautifully chaotic way, able to finally shoot at some of the most important people in Piltover. Which in turn gave Silco's dream, ideal, desire for wanting respect, wanting opportunity and change fulfilled as well. She truly finished and gave an ending to all the ties she had, which gave her a perfect opportunity to walk away from the cycle. There was nothing left holding her there. To finish it off, I think I talked about it a little in other videos, but the reason she let everyone think she was dead, the reason she didn't tell Echo and all that, she was becoming a new person. She didn't want people with her. She didn't want the ties of Echoes and her past being there when she was creating a new future for herself. And she was also aware that Vi would never stop trying to save her, so she made them believe she was dead, giving them both one last goodbye, helping Echo fight the war and having that conversation of whatever happened that didn't make the full cut, and saving Vi. Thinking about it that way, I think it was one of the best endings ever, and I really enjoyed it.